In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your personal WordPress website step by step. This tutorial is meant for the absolute beginner, so don't worry if you don't have any web design experience. And we're going to be completing all of this in less than an hour. And most importantly, I'm going to give you a free template in the description so that you can download it right away. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Create a Pro Website. My name is Levi Hagan, and I'll be walking you through this website building experience step by step. Here at Create a Pro Website, we're all about showing you how to build your own website and how to start making money online with our free in-depth tutorials. If you're new to the channel, check out the rest of our videos to see what I'm talking about. We show you how to build complete online stores, personal portfolio sites, as well as simple business websites like the one we're going to do today. The goal of today's video is to be the average business owner's starter pack. If you're looking to get a fully functional website up and running for your business as fast as possible, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to do all of these super easy steps as fast as possible, and I'm going to show you how to change things like your images, logos, and text so that you can customize this site for your business. Now, by the end of this video, you'll have a fully functioning website and you'll have it done in less than an hour. Now remember, guys, the point of today's video is to keep it as short and simple as possible. If you're looking to take your website to the next level and spruce it up even more, then check out the rest of our channel for more in-depth tutorials. Ready to get started? Let's do this. So step number one is to get your domain name and to sign up for web hosting. When you're setting up a website for the first time, there are two things that are required to begin. You have to get a domain and hosting. Securing a domain name is like purchasing the plot of land for your business to be on. And web hosting is renting space on a server that's connected to the internet. Without hosting, no one will be able to see your site. I'm going to give you a massive discount on your hosting using my affiliate link with my personal favorite and most trusted service provider. So to get your own custom domain name and get started today, go ahead and click on that first link down in the description or go to createaprowebsite.com/hosting. And this will take you to a special co-branded landing page that I have with HostGator.com. All right, so here I am on our special co-branded landing page, and so you can see Create a Pro Website right here. We make it really easy. Just click Buy Now right here, and it'll take you straight down to the different plans we have. So right off the bat, we've got three different ones. We've got the hatchling plan right here, the baby plan, and the business plan. And you can see that we've already got the 60% discount over here. So for the hatchling plan, you get a single website, and then you get other things like a free SSL certificate, which is pretty interesting. With the baby plan, you get a few more things like unlimited domains, and then the business plan, of course, you get everything. And so, of course, as you go up in plans, they're going to be more expensive. And so we go from $2 a month up to $5 a month. Now, I really only recommend the baby plan and the business plan once your business starts to take off and make money, of course, if that's what you're trying to do with it. So for now, what I'm going to do with this tutorial is just choose the hatchling plan. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Buy Now. All right, so number one is going to be choosing a domain, and so we get to try our domain names here and search if they're available. Now, if you already have a domain name, just click on this tab right here, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be creating my own. So I'm going to type something in like Spencer Studios, and then I put Create a Pro Website on the end, which is the CAPW. Perfect. Now, as you can see, the search bar highlights green. That means that my domain is ready and available, so I can use it. Now, if it glows red, on the other hand, that just means that someone else owns that domain name, so you have to try something different. And then also you can see a whole bunch of different options down here like .club, .site, .net, online space. There's a whole bunch of them. I really recommend .com because it's the most professional looking, and it's also the most common that people search for when they're looking for websites. So I'm going to stick with a .com and scroll down. Now, before we get to number two, this is really important, domain privacy protection. I strongly recommend this one. So this is an important step. So what domain privacy protection is HostGator is basically going to protect your private information and hide that personal contact info from people like telemarketers or solicitors who are going to try and offer you different services for your website. And I gotta say, it does get kind of frustrating when you start getting a whole bunch of emails and phone calls, and so I always leave this checked personally. Now, you can always opt out, uncheck it, and then you're not paying the $14.95 annually, but I mean, for $14.95 a year, I usually just do it. So number two, we've got the hosting plan, and so we already chose the hatchling plan, but if you change your mind between then and now, you can always switch to a baby or a business plan here, but I'm gonna leave it on hatchling. Now, the billing cycle is important. Right here, we can choose how often we're billed, like the cycle. And so we can choose the 36 months right here. And of course, the biggest contract gives you the biggest discount. And then if you go down to 1 month, you're just going to be getting the $7 a month instead of $2 a month. Now, you're paying for the months up front. So if I click 36, my total all the way at the bottom is going to go up to like there it is, 170. And so what I'm going to be doing is just doing the 1 month up front. Another thing to keep in mind is the 12 month right here. You're paying for your domain name, Spencer Studio CAPW, for an entire year. So if you want, you can do the billing cycle for your hosting to be 1 year as well. Because remember, you've got a hosting plan and a domain name. So, but anyways, I'm going to choose 1 month just because I only want to pay for one right now. And now number 3 is going to be creating an account with HostGator. Very simple, just email, password, and a security pin. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, guys, so I went ahead and entered in my personal email and then a password and a security pin, which is blurred out for obvious reasons. And so you're basically just creating an account with HostGator. So number 4, this is where you get to enter in your billing information. You've got the credit card option and PayPal. So I'm going to leave it on credit card. I'll see you guys in just a hot second. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my personal information. Okay, cool. So I went ahead and entered in all of my personal information. So let's go ahead and scroll on down to number 5, the additional services. Okay. So for the additional services, I'm going to do something a little strange, but let me explain. I'm going to actually uncheck Site Lock Essentials, so securing your website, and I'm going to uncheck Site Backup. Because I've got videos on the YouTube channel that show you guys how to do both of these things for free, how to secure your website and how to get website backups. So I'd recommend checking out those videos just to save yourself the $1.99 and the $2 per month, billed annually, of course, so it comes out to $23 and $23. Can save you that $46, $47 right off the bat. So I'd recommend checking those out. Number 6 is going to be entering a coupon code. So just make sure that your coupon code says the same thing as mine, which if you did go to the link in the description, then it has this here, create a pro website right there. All right. So now number 7 is just reviewing our order details. And so because we have our coupon code here, which is my affiliate link, we do get that huge discount. So it went from $17.99 all the way down to $4.99. So pretty big discount there for your domain registration. And then the hatchling plan for 1 month went from 10 down to 7. And then the hosting add-ons, the $14.95 is just your domain privacy protection right here. And so then it comes out to $29.10, which isn't too bad for your first website. So go ahead and check this box right here and click checkout now. And that's just the terms of service cancellation and stuff like that. So, all right. So now HostGator is just setting up your account. So it'll only take a few minutes. I'll see you guys then. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and skip all of this and go straight down the bottom and say skip building for now. I just want to go to my hosting dashboard. Perfect. And so now that we're on our HostGator dashboard, we can go ahead and move on to step number 2, which is to install WordPress. Now, in order to install WordPress, it's pretty simple. HostGator makes it really easy. You just go right over here to install WordPress on your control panel. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on install now. All right. So now we're in the installation process for WordPress. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we're installing the correct version, or the newest version, I mean. And so we've got 5.7.1, which is the newest, and so we are good to go there. And then you just want to double check that this is the domain name that you have. And if you've got multiple, you just click the down arrow and you can click which domain you have. So I just make sure that it's to the new domain that you just used. Scroll down a little bit and we've got the site name and site description. And so for instance, just to show you guys, if I were to type in HostGator, so this right here is the site title, and then this is the site description right here. So when it's asking you for the site name and site description, that's what's going to be popping up when people search your site like this. So I'm going to go ahead and choose what I'm going to type here. So something like Spencer Studios, and then a short description. Perfect, something like that. Scroll on down a little bit more and we've got the admin account. So this right here is a very important step. For the admin account, this is what you're going to be using to log into your website every single time that you want to make some changes. So you have to remember this part. So we're going to go ahead and create our own admin login. And so you get to pick your username. So I'm just going to make it my name. But of course, you can make the username whatever you want and then select your own password. So I'm going to hide mine and type one out. All right, so I've got a strong password. Now for the admin email, this is what you're going to be using to receive notifications or anything else that is linked to the website. So just make sure that this is going to be a Gmail account or something that you have set up for the business. You can use your personal email, but if you don't want people spamming your contact form that goes straight to your personal email, you might want to set up a quick Gmail account for your business. I'm going to go ahead and type mine in right now. All right, and then scroll on down a little bit more, and we've got choose a language, and so you can pick what you want, but I mean, I think I speak English, so. All right, so now we get to select plugins, advanced options, and select a theme all at once. This is supposed to save you time, but for this tutorial, I want to be able to show you guys how to do this from your own dashboard. So let's just skip all of these, scroll to the bottom, and click on install. All right. Close out of that guy. So now WordPress is installing, so it'll take a minute, so I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, perfect. So now we have congratulations, the software has installed successfully, and that software being WordPress. So another important step that you guys need to remember, this is just as important as your admin login and password. We've got the administrative URL or the admin URL. This is the URL that you have to go to edit your website every single time. So one thing that you can do is you can just go ahead and open this up on a new tab, and then you can just click on the bookmark symbol right here, and then you can save the URL to your bookmarks tab. Or it's pretty easy to just remember off the top of your head because it's just your domain name, so spencerstudiocapw.com/WP for WordPress-admin, which you're the admin. So pretty simple. I always just remember it because, I mean, I guess I've been doing this for so long, but anyway, so WP-admin. So let's go ahead and open this up on a new tab and check out what our website looks like. Perfect. So it says right now that your connection is not private. It might show you something else, like you might be looking at a screen that says that this page doesn't exist, or something like the connection isn't private, take me back to safety, which I guess this one's doing that right now. Anything other than a page that looks like a WordPress login screen basically means that your site needs to propagate first. And what that means is HostGator is now taking the domain name that you just purchased and it's sending it out to every single server in the entire world, letting everyone know that you just purchased it and it's live. So this can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. It could take only a few minutes, but sometimes it can go all the way up to an entire day, so 24 hours, but usually never longer than that. So just keep coming back to the page and hitting the refresh button until you see a page that looks like this, which is the WordPress login, and that's when you know that you're ready to start editing your website. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my website right now using my admin login and password that I went ahead and created when we were getting the domain name. And we are good to go. Close out of that guy. I'm also going to go ahead and close out of those two tabs because I don't really need them. All right, so now that we're on our WordPress dashboard, we can go ahead and move on to step number 3, which is installing our theme. So in order to install a theme, we're going to go over to the Appearance tab, and then we're going to go over to Themes. And so I'm going to open it up on a new tab. Now, before we actually download a theme, I want to show you guys what the website looks like right now and also what a theme is. So in order to open your website, you just hover over your website's name right up here in the top corner, and you can click on Visit Site or just click on the name. But I'm going to open it on a new tab like this. And so this is what your website looks like right now. So it's really boring. It's just mint green with a black background. This is just the 2021 default WordPress theme. And so we're going to be changing it up. So basically what a theme does is it automatically changes the text, color, font, and other things of your website to make it look a little bit better. And so you can choose from a ton of different themes. You've already got like 3, it looks like, installed by default. And so this is the 2021 version. And so I'm going to go over to Add New Theme. And from here, you can already see that we have tons and tons of themes. I've got a video on the channel that talks about the top 5 themes and why I would use them. And so if you're looking for a recommendation there, you can check out that video. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using Astra because it's one of the easiest ones in my opinion and one of the best ones. So here's Astra. You just go over to the top search bar. I went a little fast there and just search Astra like this. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on Install right here and Activate. Perfect. And just like that, you can see that the new active theme is Astra and it's no longer the 2021 theme. So let's go ahead and see what that changed. So I'm going to open my website up on a new tab again. Perfect. So now, as you can see, just by downloading a theme, your website looks completely different. Still far from being ready, of course. It's very boring, very plain, but I mean, it's a little bit better than mint green on black. There we go. All right, so now that we have our active theme swapped over to Astra, we can go ahead and move on to step number 4, which is to download plugins. So in order to download plugins, we're going to go over to the left-hand menu over here and go down to Plugins, and then I'm going to go over to Add New. Now, normally I would open it up on a new tab, but I'm just going to go ahead and open it up on this one because I still have the dashboard over here. The reason I do that is I always like to have a dashboard to go back to. It's just what I do. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the search bar right here and search Elementor, but as you can see, it's something that I use very often, so it just pops up automatically for me. And then you see Elementor Website Builder right here. This is that super easy to use page builder. It's using a drag and drop design, so it's super easy. I'm going to go ahead and click on Install Now. And I'm going to go ahead and click Activate. Okay, so now this is just a getting started with Elementor, but I'm going to show you guys how to use it, so I'm just going to skip that. We've got 2 more plugins to download, so I'm going to go back to the Plugins tab and go to Add New. And then I'll just go over to the search bar, search Elementor again. And so this one right here, Essential Add-ons for Elementor, this one's really important because it adds 40 additional free elements that you can use in Elementor. And so I'll go deeper into that later, but just go ahead and download it now. So I'm going to hit Install, Activate. And then I'm going to go over to plugins one last time for our third and final plugin. Go over to the search bar, and I'm going to search WP Forms. And here it is. So WP Forms, and it looks like mine is already active, so that's kind of interesting. I'll just go ahead and leave it there, but you would just click Install and Activate just like you did the other 2. So what we're doing here is we're installing plugins, and what plugins basically are is they're just additional software that you can use and install into your website, similar to an app on a smartphone, and it just allows your website to do extra things. So you can download a whole bunch of different plugins for like emails, for contact forms, which is what this one is, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so you can think of the Add Plugins tab, the one that we're in right now, as like the App Store. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this tab because now we've got all 3 of our plugins downloaded. And now that we have those plugins downloaded, we can go ahead and move on to step number 5, which is to upload my template right now. So down in the description, I've got a template that you can download for free, and it's the complete website that we're going to be building and editing today. So go ahead and go down to the description, click on the link, and download all 3 template files. Once you have those 3 template files downloaded, which all of them are going to be named homepage, about page, and contact page, now you're just going to go over to the Pages tab and click on Add New right here, which I'm going to do on a new tab. Okay, and so it's going to say welcome to the block editor, but we're actually not going to be using this editor. We're going to be using Elementor as the editor. And so as you can see, we've got a button up here, but we're not going to do that just yet. First thing we have to do is title it. So click up here on the top. This is the title right here, and I'm going to call this one Homepage. And that's it. And then I'm going to go over to Publish and click Publish again. Perfect. So Homepage is live. So I'm going to click on the W to go back to the Add Pages tab, or it's just the All Pages tab. So you can see right now we've got Homepage, a privacy page, and a sample page. The sample page just comes with WordPress by default when you download it. So I'm actually going to delete this one and just leave that one as a draft. I don't really care about that one. So I'm just going to check it. And then you can click here and go move to trash, or you could just click trash, but. Okay, so we've got the home page. I'm gonna click Add New again. This one's gonna be the About page. Go ahead and click on Publish and Publish again. And go back. And so what we're doing is basically just creating 3 pages, and then we're gonna take those templates and install them onto those pages. So we're basically just putting a place in our website for those templates. So here goes the contact page. Publish and publish again. Perfect. So click the W. So now let's go ahead and upload the template. So we're going to go down to the home page right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit, and then Edit with Elementor. Perfect. So now we are in the actual drag and drop page builder. Welcome to Elementor. Very easy to use. Let me give you a basic overview real quick. I'm just going to create a section by clicking on this plus button, because you have to create multiple sections to create your website. So if I click this plus button, it's going to ask how many columns I want. Ignore it for now. Let me just kind of show you guys what I'm doing here. So I'll select the 2 right here. Perfect. So the way that Elementor lays out a website is it's got this blue box right here that you can see. And this is the section. It's basically like the background. And then I've got these columns right here, which are these gray dotted lines. And that's why when I chose the plus button and I showed you that there were 2, I was choosing how many columns to put in. So as you can see, I've got 1 gray dotted line here, 1 gray dotted box there. So I've got 2 columns. And then inside of those columns, I can click the plus button, and this is the drag and drop part. I can drag a widget into the column. And then you can see that the widget has its own little pencil icon blue box right here. So you've got a section is the background. Inside of a section, you've got a column. And then inside of columns, you place the widgets, just like this. And then if I want to move this one, I just click and drag and put it over on this side. And so now it's right here. And then I can just edit my text to be whatever I want. And then I can right click on this guy and click delete. Now I'm going to do the same thing, close out of that guy, and also delete this section right here. Now, as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of different widgets that we can use. They've got the basic ones, and so there's only a few right here. Scroll down, this is the pro version, and so you have to pay to use these. That's why there's this little lock icon right next to it. So this is the Elementor Pro version, which we're not going to use, so I'm going to lock it up because I'm only going to be using the free version of Elementor. And then the General tab has most of the other widgets right here, so as you can see, it goes down to here. And then we've got the Essential Add-ons. Remember that plugin that we downloaded earlier? It adds an additional 40 widgets that we can use to completely customize our website. And so you can see that it adds a whole bunch of them. So we've got a lot to work with. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get back to uploading the template. We're going to click, instead of the plus button to build from scratch, we're going to use this button right here, which is to add a template. And then from here, we're going to go over to My Templates. And you can see that right here, we don't have anything downloaded. So we actually have to upload them by clicking on this button right here, Import a Template. And then we can click Select Files. And then once you're here, just navigate your computer to wherever you saved those 3 templates from the description. And so mine are right here. So let's go ahead and download the homepage first. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other 2. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, perfect. Welcome back, guys. So I went ahead and just downloaded the other 2. And again, you just go up to this arrow, select file, and pull it in. Nice and easy. So I've got all 3 of my templates here. We're on the home page, so let's go ahead and insert the home page right here. And it's going to say, do you want to do it? I'm going to say yes. Boom. Just like that, we have the entire website template being installed. All right, perfect. So now, as you can see, we've got the entire template installed. The only thing that's missing are the images, but all of the other motion effects and colors and gradients are all installed as well. We've got the What We're About section, a Book Your Session right here, and then also a photo gallery, which I'll be showing you guys how to insert images into. So without further ado, let's go ahead and click on Update real quick to save our work here. Okay, and so now that we've got the others downloaded onto Elementor, it's going to be really easy. Let's go ahead and install the other 2 templates real quick. So I'm going to go back to the Pages tab right here and go to All Pages. And then for the About page, I'll go ahead and click on Edit. And then Edit with Elementor. And then we're going to click on the gray folder icon, go back to My Templates, and this is the About page. There we go. So now we've got the About page installed. It's got all the motion effects and everything, all of the text. All we have to do is just insert images. So I'm going to click Update to save this page. And finally, the Contact page. So back to All Pages. And then go to the Contact page, Edit. Edit with Elementor. And then go to the gray folder, Templates, and pull in your Contact template. Perfect. So now we've got the contact form and everything else in here, which right now is just a contact form widget, but I'll show you guys how to install that later on. So click Update to save your work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this tab. Now that we have our template completely uploaded and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and move on to step number 6, which is to set up your header and footer. So in order to edit the header and footer, there's 2 ways that you can get to the Customizing tab. The first way is to open your website up on a new tab and click on this Customize tab right here. Or you can go down to the Appearance tab and click Customize right here. So there's 2 ways of doing it. So just click on it, open it up on a new tab. Okay, so what we're in right now is not Elementor. This is actually the Astra Customizing tab. And so we're using Astra to customize the header and then also the footer down here. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. But the first thing I want to do is set our homepage as the actual homepage. And I know that sounds redundant, but what we did was we just created a page and we titled it homepage. But right now, WordPress doesn't know that that actually means homepage. It's just another page to WordPress. So in order to make it actually set as the homepage, we have to go to homepage settings right here. And we have to say a static page and choose the homepage. And so as you can see, we've got the 3 pages we created. I'm going to choose homepage. Boom. And just like that, now you see Spencer's Studios, and this is our actual website. So now it's the homepage. So click on publish to save your work, and then go ahead and back out. So now in order to edit the header, we're going to go up to the header builder, just like this. It's pretty simple. It's drag and drop, just like Elementor. So we've got the 3 layers that you can use, the top, the bottom, and the middle. The top and the bottom are invisible until you actually put something there. So for instance, if I click this plus button and just throw some social icons in there, you'll see now I've got the bottom row and the middle row, and then the top row is just invisible up here. And then if I were to add something else like some more socials, because why not? I guess I can't. So let's do a search bar. So now I've got 3 rows, as you can see, but I'm going to go ahead and remove both of those. So the first thing that I want to do is make this a transparent header. And the way that I'm going to do that is while I'm in the header builder, just go to transparent header. I'm going to say enable on the complete website. Perfect. So now on the entire website, no matter what page you go to, it's always going to have a transparent header, which just means that you can see the background image through it, which I think looks so much more appealing than just having like a white background. And then you can actually disable the transparent attribute on different specific pages if you want to, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So that's good. Go ahead and click on the back button here. So now that we've got a transparent header, another thing that I want to do is also remove that border. I don't like that there. So we're going to go back into transparent header and then click on the design tab. And you can see that the bottom border size is set to the middle. I'm just going to remove it down to 0. And so now you don't have a line there. It's just transparent. So let's go ahead and click on publish to save our work. And then back out. So let's go ahead and insert a logo now. And so the way I'm going to do that is just click on this logo button right here, or you can hover over it and click on the pencil icon and it'll take you to the logo. But you can do that for anything. So if I want to edit the menu, click on this pencil, it takes you straight to that setting. But I want to show you guys how to get there. So from your header builder, click logo, and you can actually select your logo. Now I've got a video on the channel where I show you how to build your own logo in less than a minute. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. I'm not going to show you guys how to build a logo right now, but I will show you this. The place you go to do it for free is you go to a new tab and you go logomaker.com. Just make sure you take out the E. So it's logomaker without the E.com. And so right here, this is Logo Maker. It's a free software to use online. You don't even have to download any software. You just use your web browser and you can create things like text, and then you can put shapes like this and you can drag them wherever you want. You can search from over 1 million graphics here. And so if I want to put an apple, something like this, and say apple, just like that, and remove that guy. And now, what do you know? We're building computers. Just kidding. So go ahead and just delete all of that. So this is how you do it. I definitely recommend checking out that video. It's, I think, like a 5-minute video, so it's super short, and it shows you how to do it for free. So I went ahead and off camera created my own logo for the website, as well as a site icon, and I used the exact same software, Logo Maker, to make the site icon. Now a site icon is just this little picture right here. So you can see HostGator's little mascot, the gator, right now for our dashboard and everything, but we're going to change that to be our own icon. So the way you do that is first, let's change this logo right here. First, actually, change the display site title because that's a site title right now. I'm going to turn that off. So that removes that text, and I'm going to put a logo in its place. So let's go ahead and click on select logo right here, and then select files to upload. And I've got my icons right here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload all 3 of them because you can upload them all at the same time and then just pick one. Perfect. And so this one's already selected. So I'm just going to use this guy as my main logo. Actually, because we have a transparent header, I went ahead and created the same logo, but in white. That way it pops off of a dark background. Because if I put this over like a black page, it'd be really hard to see. Just like how this is really hard to see over a white background. But we'll go ahead and use this for now. It's going to ask if you want to crop it. I'm just going to say skip cropping. And boom, there's that giant logo. So we're going to go ahead and take the logo width, which is basically the size, and just shrink it down a little bit to something like that. And that is my professional looking logo. I actually really like that one, by the way. That's purely personal, but I think that's kind of a cool looking logo. Anyways, so now in order to do the site icon up here, just scroll on down to the bottom and you'll see site icon. So I click on this guy, and then I can use my site icon, which is this. And then you can skip the cropping, or you can crop it if you want. And now you can see that it's actually my site icon up here. So it's not just something like this or that picture of a globe that most websites have when they don't have an icon. So just a little bit more professionalism for your site. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click publish to save my work. So next, let's go ahead and edit this primary navigation menu for your website. So I'm gonna go back to the back button here, and then I'm gonna go to primary menu. Or if you wanted to edit the primary menu, of course you can click on the plus or the pencil icon right here, or you can click on this right here, which is the primary menu. All takes you to the same place. Okay, and so we're gonna be editing this guy. Now that we're in the primary menu, we can go to the design tab. So the first thing we can do under the design tab is go to the menu hover style, and I can change it to something like zoom in. Now, it's not gonna show you right now because sometimes it does that. I'm gonna go ahead and click publish and refresh the page, and I'll show you what it does. Perfect. Go back to the header builder, back to primary menu, back to design. And so the zoom in basically does this. It makes it zoom in rather than just hover a color. So it makes it a little bit more interactive, and I think that looks very professional. You can choose others if you want, but I'm going to stick to zoom in. You can choose the top offset, which is just how much space between the top and bottom, which I'm going to leave. Border width, which honestly I'm not even going to touch. You can do color if you want. I'm not going to do that. Now I am going to change the text color. Right now it is blue and then gray, so let's go ahead and change that to white and black. And so the way I'm going to do that is go to the text color right here. You've got the normal color, the hover color, and the active color. And so active means what page you're on right now, which is transparent. That's hover whenever I actually hover over it. And then this is the normal color. So the normal color, I want to be more of like a light grayish, so something like this. And then for the hover color, I want it to be bright white. And then for the active color, I want it to be bright white as well, just like that. I'm not going to touch a background because that would actually put a background over this whole thing and it looks terrible. I like it transparent like this. So let me go ahead and publish to save my work, and I'll show you guys what this looks like by refreshing again. And so now if you go over here, you'll see that they hover white and they have like a light gray kind of color to them, just like this. And then whatever page I'm on, which this is the home page, you can see right there the home page is a bright white. So it already shows that you're active on that page. Okay, so now we've customized this. We're going to do it a little bit further by actually editing the menu. Right now we were just designing the design of it or the styling of it. Now we're going to actually edit what the menu shows. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and go back again, and go down to menus. And right now there isn't a menu set up. So we're going to go ahead and click on create menu. I'm going to call this primary menu. And then you're going to select where to put it, which I'm going to say primary menu. It's ironic. I named it primary menu because I want to use it as a primary menu. So it's just easy for me to remember. You guys can title it whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on next. And now we get to add things to that menu. So as you can see, that other one disappeared because that was just showing everything. Now we're putting on actual requirements for what goes into it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add items, and I can choose between pages. I can close that. I could choose custom links. So I could just say something right here and then type in my own URL. So it'll show ASDF. And then when they click on it, it'll take them to this URL. I'm not going to do that though. You can do a whole bunch of other things as well, like categories, landing pages, and stuff like that. If you had products on your website, like if you're doing an e-commerce store. So I'm going to go back to pages and choose the home page. And just like that, it adds because I'm just clicking on it. I'm going to do the about page. And then I'm also going to do the contact page, but I'm going to do something a little special. So what I'm going to do is actually close the menu. So as you can see, we've got the home page and about page. The last one I want to do is a button at the very end. And so we'll do that in a hot second. But while we're here, click publish to save our work. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and put in that button. So I'm going to click on back one more time, go back to the header builder, and I'm going to add a widget by clicking on this plus button and make it a button. And it's going to put the button automatically where I wanted it to, but I mean, you could put it over here if you want to. And as you can see, it's up here now, but I'm going to move it back over here. And then let's go ahead and edit that button, which now it popped up right here. So I'm going to change the text to contact me. And then I'm going to change the link to be my contact page. So in order to do that, we're going to go back to the dashboard and go to our Pages tab, and I'm going to open it up on a new tab. We're going to go to our contact page and click View. And now, as you can see, we've got spencerstudio.com/contact. We're just going to take our URL for the contact page, Control or Command C to copy it, and then we're going to paste it right here, Control or Command V. And then I also want it to open them up on a new tab. So when they click Contact Me, it's going to open up on a new tab. So now I can go to the Design tab, and I can change the coloring and style of this button. And so the first thing I'm going to do is change the text color to be white on the normal. And then I also want it to be white on the hover. And then for the background color, I want it to be a dark black, but I'm going to change the opacity down. So something like this. And then for the hover color, I want it to be bright red. Just like that. Perfect. And then now what I'm going to do is go down to the border color, and I'm going to change the normal color to be red. All right. And so now that it's red, I'm going to increase that width by, I think, 2. So something like that. So now you can see I've got a border like that, and then when I hover, it's bright red, and I love how that looks. So then the border color when I hover is just non-existent, which I'm going to leave it like that because I like how it just kind of solidifies into a red. Now the last thing I'm going to do is actually change that blackness to be a little bit darker, so something like this. Perfect. Okay, so that's my contact button. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save, so Publish. And then the last thing that I wanted to do, and I totally forgot, was to increase the border radius. Now, as you can see, the second I touch this, you're going to see these edges round out a little bit more. And that's what the radius does. Watch this. I click it, it instantly rounded out, but watch the button as I drag it this way, and it can straighten out to sharp edges, or I can give it a little bit more of a rounded edge, which I like the rounded edge. I don't know if I wanted a complete circle like this. I kind of like it a little bit more square, but just not so jagged. So something like that. I think that looks good. And publish one more time. Okay, so now we've completed working on the header. Our buttons are operational, so if you click on the home page, it'll take you to the home page. That takes you to the About page, and this will open you up on a new tab and take you to the Contact page. So I think that looks pretty professional if you ask me. So I'm gonna go ahead and back out one more time. All right, and so now that our header's done, you can go ahead and go down to the footer builder as well. So as soon as you click on it, it's gonna show you the footer, but it's way down here at the bottom of the website. And so right now it's just a copyright. I'm not going to do anything in this tutorial to the footer, but you can go ahead and add whatever you want by clicking here, and you can add widgets. And so if you do add a widget and then you click here to edit it, you can go ahead and choose an image, which it looks like it automatically pulled my logo. That's kind of cool. Go ahead and remove that guy, but you can add anything you want in this widget. So you could add pages, you could do social buttons, audio, archives, all sorts of stuff. But again, for this tutorial, I'm just not going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to leave it as a super basic footer where it's just the copyright and everything. So publish to save my work there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and back out and close out of here. All right, so now that we've finished working on the header and footer, we can go ahead and move on to step number 7, which is to customize your pages. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and open my website up on a new tab just like this. Close out of that dashboard because I already have this one. And then I'm going to click on Edit with Elementor. Okay, so this is the fun part. It's not going to show you the header anymore because now we're just building the actual page in the middle. So now we can go ahead and edit these pictures and text. So anytime you want to edit some text, all you got to do is click on it just like this, and you can edit right on the page just like that. Or you can go over here to the left-hand side and you see where the title actually has the text. I can also click here and change it from Spencer to something like John or something like that. So that's how you edit the text here. Same with this one right here. You just click on it, you can start editing. And same with this one as well. So I have a heading, another heading, and then this one is a text editor. And so if we go back to the Rubik's Cube icon, you can see that we've got heading and text right here. Now, most of the time when you're editing a website, it's really only going to be these top 6 things right here. You'll just have heading text, let's see, heading. These are just images in the background, and so that's this image icon right here that you can just drag in, just like that. And then we've got things like an icon, which the icon is right here. Scroll down a little bit more. This is just another type of icon, which you can drag in from right here. And then we've got a button, which as you can see, we've got the button widget right here. So usually you can create some pretty stunning websites just using these basic 6 widgets right here. So let's go ahead and insert the correct images into the website so we can have something complete. I'm going to go ahead and right click while over the background section here and click on edit section. Or you can go up here to the top 6 dots, and that's also the same thing. As you can see, it says edit section. And so when you're in Elementor, you've got 3 tabs anytime you're editing something. You've got the layout tab, the style tab, and the advanced tab, which isn't so advanced. Trust me, it's pretty simple. So the layout tab is going to be content and layout. So for the background, it's just layout. But if I were to click on the text right here, it's going to be the content tab instead of the layout tab. But then you still have the style tab and advanced tab, as you can see. So let me edit the section again. So under the layout tab, you can change things like if you want it to be full width or boxed. You can change things like the height, which right now I automatically did all of these. And so when you download the template, all of these are set to what I have it set to. But right now the height is set to fit to screen. So no matter how big your screen is, this section right here is always going to touch the bottom of your screen like this. And then I've got it set to full width, so it takes up the entire page from side to side. Let's see, you can go to the style tab, and this is where you can change colors, you can change fonts, you can change anything that has to do with styling. You can change like hover animations, image position. This is where you also insert images right here. And then the advanced tab is where you can edit margins and padding. So margins is space on the outside of the square, and then padding is essentially space on the inside of the square. So if I wanted to add some space in between Spencer's and Studios, I can click on Spencer's and say advanced, and then I can go down to padding and I can unlink the values, because if they're linked and I go up, they all go up together. But if I unlink and go to the bottom, I can just click and hold and I'll start adding space inside. I'm just adding some padding in between. So that's just that for you. And I'll just link those again together. So that's how you do that. Let's go ahead and right click again and click edit the section. I'm going to go over to the style tab and insert my first image here. So I'm going to go to upload files, because you've got your media library. These are the things you've already installed onto your website, and then you have to upload your own. And so I'm going to go over to my images tab right here. And so under the images tab, this is where I have all of my images that I'm going to use for the website, and I'll be sure to have a link to this folder in the description so that you guys can download the same images if you want to. But I assume that you're going to be using this for your business, so you might want to insert your own. But they're going to be there in case you want them. So I'm actually just going to take all of them like this and just install them all at once. And that's going to take a hot second, so I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, perfect. So they all installed, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here, and that'll be my background image. And so I think it looks great, and automatically I've got it set to top center. Let's see, the size is cover, which basically stretches it to the entire width of the screen. And then I have it set to scroll, which basically means that it's not fixed. Fixed basically means that while I scroll, it stays in the background. So that's kind of cool, but I didn't want that for my header image. So I have it to scroll. So it stays with it. And then let's see here. I also have a background overlay on it. So if you go down to background overlay, I've got a gradient that goes from black to like a darkish blue. And so it kind of has like this cool haze over here. And so that's it. So I've got the text here. Let's go ahead and change this text color by clicking on it. Go to the style tab and just change it to a white color, just like that. And then scroll down a little bit. So I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm also going to go into the text function here, and I'm going to change the weight from default down to something more like 300 to make it a little bit skinnier, just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then I might increase this size just a little bit. So I click on the text, go back to the style tab, go to typography, and I can change the size to be something a little bit bigger. I'll use the arrow keys just to do it a little bit. So just like that. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and edit these 2 buttons right here. So for the services button, I'm going to go ahead and click on this one first. Oh, it's already set to take me down to the services, that's why. But I'll click on the pencil icon that's right here in the top corner, if I can get my mouse onto it. How about this? I'll right click it and click on edit button. Okay, so it's already set to services, and I already have it set to hashtag services, and I set this section as a services section, so it's programmed to take you down here. That's why it does that. And so for the services section, or for the button, I mean, I'm going to go over to the style tab and change it up a little bit. Let's see here. I actually like how the regular style is, but the hover style, I don't like that blue. So I'm going to go over to the hover style right here. So I'm going to change the text color to stay white. And so the way I'm going to do that is actually drag it over here. And I'm going to show you guys how to change these custom colors in just a hot second to make this process a lot faster. So I've got that custom, or excuse me, just white right here. So when I hover, now the text is white. I'm going to change this color, which is the background color, to be black. And then change the opacity to something a little bit more transparent, like that. So when I hover over it, it just darkens a little bit, but it's still transparent. Let's go a little bit lighter, something like that. And then the border color, I want to be white. And so now when I hover, it just does a little bit darkness like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the About button, except for I'm going to change the hover color to be more of a darker color. Actually, that normal color looks terrible too. So Style tab, for the normal color, let's change this to be red. So let's go ahead and change these global colors right now, just so that this goes a lot faster. Click on Update to save your work. Go to this little hamburger icon in the top corner, and then go to Site Settings. And then right here for global colors, ignore the text because you can click here and type whatever you want. So I always ignore this. I just want to put the colors in here so I can instantly choose my red color, white, black, and stuff like that. So I'm going to choose the first one to be white. The second one is going to be black. The third one's going to be red, just way up there in the corner. And then the last one can be something like a light gray or a dark gray. What do I want? Maybe more of like a dark gray, like a middle, I guess. Something like that. Perfect. So I've got 4 colors that I can use right off the back. So just click on Update. All right, and then click on the X icon right here. Perfect. So now we're back in Elementor, and it looks like it automatically changed those colors because they're linked to everything. So if I click on the button and say Edit the button here, you can see that now my color is the bright red, which I like. That looks really good. And I want the text color to be white. So now you can see my colors are right here. So I can always just choose whatever I want really fast. And then for the hover colors, I want it to hover to black. I like that. So when I hover over it, it changes to a black button. Oh, that's the text color. So let's change that to be white and then the background to be black. So that way when I hover over the button, it goes to black. And then for the border color on hover, I'm actually just going to reset it so it's just not even existent. So when I hover, okay, so it shows red. So then let's just say black instead. And so now when I hover, it just goes to a black button. So this one just gets darker and this one turns black. Perfect. All right, so click Update to save my work. All right, so scroll on down and let's go ahead and enter in these 3 images. So I'm going to do the first one. These are not actual image widgets like this. They're actually background images for the column. Because just like you can do a background image on the section and it takes up the whole space, you can do background images for columns as well. So I'm going to click on this, which means edit the column, as you can see. I'm going to go to the Style tab and then click on the image. And so I'm going to choose 3 more images that I need to upload. So go to the Upload Images file, go to my Services tab, and take these 3. And while I'm here, I'm also just going to go ahead and upload my gallery images as well, just to save some time later. So go back into my gallery, and I'll take those. Okay, now this is my first services section, so I'm going to use my service section 1 image here. And then this is the second one, so I'm going to click on the gray box right there, Style tab, Images, and I'll choose this one. And then for my third one, click on the box, Style tab, Image, and choose the guitars. So I'll tell them that I do recording studio sessions, I do audio engineering sessions, and I do instrument rentals. All right, so this section is pretty much complete. It looks like my title right here is also white text just by default when we change those global colors. So let's go ahead and just click here and change the style color, so text color, to black. And so are you interested in working with us? Check out some of these services we provide. And then just like this top image has a background overlay, so do these every time you hover. And the way I did that was when you click on Edit the Column, under Background, if you go to Background Overlay, right now it's a color, but if I hover, it's a gradient of red and blue. And so that's where you get like this cool looking red-blue filter every time you hover. And then we can also say this text right here, click on it, and you can change the text just by typing it out right here. And then you can change the link. And so right now I want all 3 of these to just take me to the contact page. Basically saying, hey, if you're interested in recording, boop, it'll take you straight to the contact form and they can start talking to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and click here on the link and just say contact. And Elementor is automatically gonna search all of the pages that you have for something that says contact. And so there's my contact page and you see it right there. And I'm gonna do the same thing for these 2. And then click update to save my work. All right, scroll down to the next section and we just have a simple about section, or just kind of like what we're about, kind of explain just a very brief description of your business. And so here, all you gotta do is you can change this icon by clicking on it. You can change the icon to anything you want. And so they've got a whole bunch of different icons. As you can see that I'm scrolling through, I mean, tons and tons of them. And so you can search something like Amazon, just for instance, and you've got Amazon icons. So you can search whatever you want, like a camera. You've got a camera icon. So whatever you want to be your about section icon, you can put there. And then you go over here to title and description, and you can type out your own title and description, which I actually inverted by basically changing the text typography. So the title normally is bigger, but right now I've got it set to smaller by going to the style tab, and you can go to the content tab right here, and you can change the content. So the title typography, and you can see that I did all my settings here. And then for the typography down here, all of these settings for the description. But basically enter in your own text and it's good to go. So I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys. All right. And then this is just a text editor or a paragraph basically where you can click here and just start typing away whatever your business is about. You've got your basic functions like bold, italics, underline, bullet list, basically kind of like a Microsoft Word document or something like that. So you can edit that. So scrolling on down to the next section, we've got the book your session little part right here. So I'm going to right click and enter in my image in the background. So now I'm editing the section, style tab, images, and then I'm going to choose this one right here and say insert media. And just like that, I already have this image set to the fixed setting, which basically means it's fixed in the background. So as you scroll, it's kind of parallaxing in the back. The book your session, I'm going to click on one more time and actually change everything to white. So the way I do that is just click on the icon, go to the style tab, and I change the icon color to white, just like that. The secondary color is this black haze back here, but I actually like that. And then I'm going to go down to the content and change the title and description color to white. And click update. Boom. The last thing I want to do is change this contact button one more time, and we can actually speed up that process by doing something like this. Scroll up to the top, and you'll see the About Us button. Right-click it and click Copy. Scroll all the way down to the bottom again, and then right-click on this button, the Contact button, and say Paste the Style. And that's basically going to copy the style of that button up top and put it down here. So everything that's under the Style tab just got copied. So now we've got a red background and it highlights to black. And so now I'm just going to go back to the content tab, and for the link, or basically where this button takes you, I'm just going to search the contact page. And then click on update to save my work. The last thing I'm going to do, scroll on down to the very bottom, we've got our own image gallery right here. So the way I edit it is just click on it, or you can click on the pencil icon, or you can right click and say edit the gallery, but it all takes you to the same place, editing the gallery. I can choose what images I want. I've already got the image size, columns, and everything set the way I want. That's why I gave you guys the template to make it as easy as possible. So all you have to do is insert your images. So click on the plus button right here, and under my media library, I've already got all of my images right here that I wanted to include. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm just going to select all of them. And the way I did that is just hold shift, and that's how you can highlight multiple at the same time, and create new gallery. And then you can reorganize them by dragging and dropping if you want to. I don't really care to, so I'm just going to leave it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on insert gallery, and it'll automatically insert all of your photos into the gallery right here. Now you can play around with the image sizing if you want to choose different sizing options. You can change how many columns you want. So right now I've got it set to 1, 2, 3, but you can set it to however many columns you want. I just like how simple this one is. And then you can also change, I think, the space in between by going to the Style tab. Here's your spacing. And so you can increase this and then it'll have more of a gap in between. But that is how we did the homepage. Let's make sure these buttons are hooked up. So edit this one. It is set up. Edit this one. And it's not set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that and go and type in about. And it'll pull our about page. And now that's good to go. So click update. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next 2 pages. There's one last thing I wanted to show you guys on the homepage before I close out of the tab, is you can go down here to preview changes, which is right next to the update button. Click on it and it'll open your site up on a new tab so you can preview what it looks like. So this is what our website looks like so far. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Very professional too. I'm very impressed with this one. So we've got our really cool logo up in the corner. Our menu options hover. This button hovers, very cool, and it'll take you to a different page. We've got the Spencer Studio centered perfectly. Click on services, takes you down here. These hover. Got an about section, a book your session, and they can hover and click on it, and then a gallery. I think that looks awesome. So now let's go to the about page. While we're actually in this preview, we can just go straight to the about page and then click on edit with Elementor. And so now here's the about page. So let's go ahead and edit with Elementor right now. And then I'm just going to go ahead and close out of this one. So now we're in the about page. Everything in here looks great. Only thing I'm going to change is the about text. I'm just going to go to the Style tab after clicking on it and go to typography and just increase its size a little bit. So something like this. And then I'm also going to reduce the weight a little bit. So like 400. And then also the letter spacing, I'm going to spread it out. So that's my about section, just like that. And then we've got Spencer Studios. I'm actually also going to thin out those as well. So click on it, go to the Style tab, typography, and then for the letter spacing, it actually looks like it's already spaced out. But for the weight, I'm going to change it down to something like 300. Perfect. So update to save that. And then I'm going to right click, edit the section. I'm going to move a little bit faster now because you guys know how to edit sections and put an image into the background. So we just go to the Style tab, Images. I'm going to go ahead and go to my media library and I'll choose this one and then click Insert Media. And so now I've got this really cool background back here. Scroll down a little bit. Let's go ahead and edit this image. And so I'm going to click here. All right. And then I'm also going to choose this image. And so I think that one looks good there. Scroll down to this image, click on it, and I will choose this guy, just like that. So I've got my 2 images. I got the co-founder, one guy's marketing and the other guy's audio engineering. This is where you would put your other guys, and then you can duplicate these sections and put different people or however you want. And then you can put some text here. Scroll on down to the About Company. I'm going to edit the entire section. And then the way I'm going to do this is go to the Style tab, Image, and insert the microphone right here. Now, as you can see, it's a really dark background, so I'm just going to go through and edit all of this text to change the background to white. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a second. I'm just going to change all of these individual to white the exact same way. Just click on it, Style tab, and change it to white. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so I went ahead and just changed the color of all of the text to white. So let's go ahead and click on Update to save our work and preview it real quick. All right, so this is the About page, and my God, it looks great. I love this image in the background with my red background overlay. So it goes from black to red because it's a gradient. Scroll down a little bit. You've got these 2, one swipes in from the left and the right, and then this guy comes up from the bottom. Looks great. So now let's go ahead and edit the contact page real fast. So click Contact Page. And remember, the button opens it up on a new tab, so that's pretty cool. Close out of that tab, close out of that tab, and let's edit this one with Elementor. And so the first thing I'm going to do to this section is edit the background. Go to the Style tab, and the same thing. I'm going to insert my image, and I'm going to choose this one right here. Perfect. Now, I've already got this all set up with the background overlay, but again, if you ever want to change it, you just go down to Background Overlay, and you've got your 2 colors right here. So you can change this color to whatever you want. So for instance, click here, and I can, as you can see, change this, but I'm going to leave it as my red. So that looks awesome. And then for my contact, I'm actually going to change this to be a little bit bigger. So go to the Style tab, Typography, increase that size, I'll decrease that weight a little bit and then scroll down. So now we've got the, let's see, text right here, as you can see, is white, and this is on a white background, so let's go ahead and change that. By the way, the reason that it's like that is because when we went over here to site settings and changed those colors, it automatically changes everything throughout that uses these colors. So that's why. So now we can go ahead and just change this back to a black color. Change this one down to a black color, so go to Style, Black. And then everything else is in black except for this title. One more. Perfect. And then we can scroll down a little bit more, and we've got this cool map that you guys can actually set to your own location. And so the way that we edit it is we go to the top corner, because if you try to click on this one or right click, it's not going to let you because you're trying to interact with the actual map. So just go over and click on the pencil icon, and now you're editing Google Maps. So you can set it to whatever location you want. So I'll choose Austin because I live in Austin. Boom. And so this is Austin, Texas. I can go over here and zoom out if I want, like 1 or 2 notches. And that way it shows like the surrounding area of Austin. So however you want to do it. You can also change the height of this, which I'm just going to leave. All right. And so now we have finished the contact page except for this widget right here, which is going to be our contact form. So if you right click, you can actually see that it's shortcode, but I'm going to show you guys how to insert your own. So we're going to go ahead and delete this. And we're going to add a different widget. So let's go over to the Rubik's Cube icon. And then we're going to go to the search bar and type in WP. And we're going to use WP Forms, but from Essential Add-ons, not the WP Forms that comes from WordPress. So remember, Essential Add-ons is that plugin that we downloaded. This one is just much more customizable, so that's why I want to use it. So drag it in, and then we'll be able to edit it right here. Now, as you can see, this is actually another heading that I forgot to change to black. So go to the Style tab and change it to black. So send us a message. So let's go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and click Update to save our work. So in order to actually edit this, we're going to be creating our own contact form. And so that's actually step number 8, which is creating a contact form. So let's go ahead and move on to that step now. So to do that, we're going to go over to the dashboard, and we're going to drop down to WP Forms right here, and then go over to Add New, which I'm going to do on a new tab. Now we can choose a blank form, and then we can create it from scratch, or we could save ourselves a lot of time and just use a simple contact form template. And so this is what I'm going to use. Let's go ahead and enter in a title, which I'm just going to say primary contact form, because that's normally what I do. So it's funny that it actually has that there. So primary contact form automatically like that. And then when you click on this template, it's going to automatically insert that title right here. Now, if you want to edit it, just click on it, and then you can change the title. So it takes you to the settings tab. I'm going to go back to the fields tab. So here we are. Now this is really easy to use. Just like Elementor, it's drag and drop. Right now it's got a name, so first name, last name, email, and a comment or message. Now I can actually take this and add something like phone numbers, for instance. So I just drag in a numbers box like this, and I can put it wherever I want. Now it says numbers. I can click on it and edit the actual field. And so the way I do that is I just go over to phone number instead. And I'm actually going to take off the S, so phone number, just like this. So we change the label. We can make it a required field, and so now it's got that asterisk, and it also won't let you hit submit unless you fill it out, which I don't really care. And then you can also go to advanced options and put in a placeholder. So if you want to say, like, you know, give them an example or something like that. Now they've got like an example. So that's how you do that. So now you guys can go ahead and go back to the Add Fields tab and add whatever you want. You can get kind of creative and do like a drop down. And then say, so of these 3 choices, you could say something like shipping, customer service, something else, and then people have something to kind of give you basically a subject for the message, like why they're contacting you. And then you can call this like, what are you looking for? Or like, how can we help? And then choose one of these and make it required. So that might help you kind of categorize your messages that come in. But I'm going to go ahead and delete it right here. All right, so now we've got our basic contact form like this. You can also change the submit button text. And so you can change it to, let's see, instead of submit, you could say whatever you want, but I'm just going to leave it like that. The last thing I want to show you guys is the notifications. So remember at the very beginning of this tutorial where I told you that we're setting up an admin email, for HostGator and for WordPress. Well, this is where it's actually using shortcode to pull that email, and that's why I told you to use a business email, because this contact form is going to automatically send any messages that people enter to this email. Now, you can always just delete this and enter in your own email right now, but I mean, it's easier if you just set it up like that at the beginning. And then you can also change the subject to something like new entry primary contact form. So now every time you get an email from your website, because someone sent you a message through your website, you can change what the title of the email is going to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Save in the corner, and then just close out of the tab. So back in Elementor, let's just go ahead and refresh the page, and we can go ahead and finally enter in our contact form right here. So click on our widget right here for WP Forms, and it's automatically going to connect to the plugin. So we just click on this, and right there, we've got the primary contact form that I created. Click on it, and it's automatically going to insert it. Let's go ahead and remove the title. So just don't show the title right here, because we've already got send us a message. And so that we've got name, phone number, email, and content. Now we can customize this further if we want to. That's why I like using WP Forms, because you can go over to the Style tab and you have a ton of individual settings. We can change the button to be a specific color, which I'm actually going to do. And the way I'm going to do that is similar to every other button on the website. I'm going to change the background color to be red, text color to be white, and then I'm going to change the hover background color to be black, text to be white. So now it's red, and then when they hover, it goes to black. I think that looks good. All right, so I think that does it for the contact page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Update to save our work. So let's do one final preview of the changes. Perfect. So if you scroll through, I think this looks pretty good. So that's the contact page. We've got our form right here. And again, all of this is just text. So the email is text, numbers is text. If you wanted to just delete this entire number section, you can. Or if you wanted to insert, your email and then a support line, your hours of operation, this is where you would do it, in Elementor, of course. And then here is the send us a message. And so you can say, my name is Levi Hagen. Because I'm logged in as Levi, that's why it's saving my name, by the way. You can enter in a phone number, so 512-555-5555. And then my email is blah content. It says it's invalid, so at blah.com. Apparently that's valid. And then I've got my message, and I can hit submit, and it'll send it to my email. But I don't want to spam email like this, so I'm not going to. All right, looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this tab, and then close out of Elementor. All right, guys, now that we have everything done, we've customized our website, the contact form is in, we can go ahead and move on to the 9th and final step of mobile responsiveness. So making sure that your website is mobile responsive is a really important step, because over 50% of your traffic is going to come from people who are on the go looking at your website on their smartphone. So in order to accommodate that, let's go ahead and make sure that the website automatically compresses for a smaller screen correctly. So the way we do that is, let's go ahead and open up our site on a new tab. We'll start with the home page. Now, I already did most of it, but I left one or two things wrong just to show you guys what we're going to do. So that's what, when I say most of it, I mean when I built the template for you guys. So let's go ahead and go to Elementor. All right. So right off the bat, we're going to go down to the bottom corner, and right next to preview changes and update, we've got responsive mode. And so when you click on it, it's automatically going to show you essentially the size of a smartphone screen. And so, of course, to begin, you guys can see that the title looks terrible because it's just a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is click on Edit This button right here. And then anything that has this little icon right next to it, for instance, the alignment, if it has this icon right next to it, what that means is I can change the alignment on mobile version, and it's not going to change the alignment on my desktop version. And so if I click on it, you can see I can choose tablet or desktop or mobile. And so what I'm going to do is go to the Style tab, and under Typography, you can see that the Size button right here has a mobile icon next to it, which means that if I change the size on the mobile version, it's not going to change the desktop version, which is great. So I'm just going to click on this and reduce the size of my header image. So see how it's just kind of spread out like this? Just reduce it. Boom. Just like that. I can go a little bit bigger. And that's how it's going to look. Let me just go down for OCD purposes. Solid 100. So for Spencer's, I've got my cursive text on top. Studios is there. This all compresses nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Update to save my work. And by the way, so I changed it on the mobile version. Let me just show you. If I go back to desktop version, it did not change it. It's still just as big on the desktop version. So let's go back to the smartphone, and we can scroll on down. These buttons compressed by just sandwiching on top of each other, which looks great. Everything is centered. All three of these come in from different angles, and you can hover. Still looks good. The About Me section looks great, and so does Book Your Session. So you've got everything in line, and then the button is right there, and the photo gallery. So again, before when I was creating the template, everything looks great. I just wanted to show you guys that you can change the text here. There's other things you can change like margins and padding, and that won't affect the desktop version, but that's basically the gist of it. So click Update to save my work. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of this. All right, guys, so we've completed the website. Let's go ahead and take one final overview just to take a look at all of our hard work. So I'm going to open it up on a new tab. And I gotta say, this is one of my favorites that I've built so far. So we've got the cool looking logo up there. Still love that. Everything fades in nicely. We've got our 2 call to actions, take them straight to services. And then services, if I open it on a new tab, takes them straight to the contact page, as you can see. And so we've got all 3 here. And then we've got the what we're about, book your session, go straight to the contact, and a photo gallery. Then we can go to the about page. Fades in nicely. That one comes in from the side. So does that one. And that comes from the bottom. I think it looks awesome. And then we've got the contact page. This one opens up on a new tab. Scroll on down, and we've got the get in touch, all of your information. They can enter in whatever they want. And you don't have to put a placeholder there. I just did that to show you. It looks weird having only one placeholder. You might want to enter placeholders for all of them, which again, you just go to that advanced settings and placeholders right there, just like I did for the phone number. And then we've got our map at the bottom. I think it looks fantastic. All right, everyone, that was my tutorial on how to create a WordPress website for beginners. I hope all of you were able to follow along and build the perfect website for your business, but most of all, I hope that this saved you a whole bunch of time, stress, and money. If you now have some questions regarding your website, be sure to check out the rest of our channel for more tutorials and supplemental information regarding anything from securing your website to migrating hosts or finding which theme is best for your project. We have many more in-depth tutorials that go much deeper into building websites if you're interested. But I wanted to keep today's video simple. I look forward to seeing you guys in other videos. And remember guys, if you haven't got started yet or claimed your domain name, be sure to do so by clicking on the first link in the description. This will get you those massive discounts that we talked about in today's video. All right guys, we'll see you in the next video.